Welcome to solverfy.
So for part A, to find the work done by the motor, we can say that this is going to be equal to the force of the motor times a delta H times cosine of 0 degrees. This is going to be equal to 1, and this will be equal mg delta H, given that the force of the motor is equal to the mass times the gravity, and this would be equal, the work of the motor would be equal to the mass, 2,250 kilograms, times 9.8 meters per second squared times delta H. This would be 3,345 meters minus 2,150 meters. And we are getting that the work of the motor is equaling 2.63 times 10 to the 7th joules. Now for part B, when it's asking for the work of gravity would simply be equal to the negative work of the motor, given that the motor is working against gravity. So this would be negative 2.63 times 10 to the 7th joules. Now here for part C, we can open up a new workbook. For part C, we know that the motor can produce 10% more work than gravity can. So we can say that motor can produce 10% more work. So now we must find the acceleration. So we can say that the net force is going to be equal to the force of the motor minus the force of gravity. So this would be equal to 1.1 mg, 10% more, minus mg. So this is equaling 0.1 mg. The net force is also going to be equal to the mass times the acceleration. And so we can cancel out the mass, and the acceleration is simply going to be equal to 0.1 g, or we can say 0.98 meters per second squared. So this would be our final answer for part C. That is the end of the solution. Thank you for watching.